Hey guys, how's it going? Kripparrian here. Today I want to give you guys kind of like an everyday, just pretty good Warlock deck arena playthrough. The reason I want to do that is it'll really highlight how the Warlock class has become extremely well-rounded and really I consider the most consistent class in arena. I talked about that potentially being Hunters. My issue with Hunters is you do kind of encounter a lot of other aggressive decks out there and you can get shut down. So with Hunters, I think while it is still one of the strongest classes, it is not quite that consistent. So what I mean by that is you are going to have those games where you have a pretty mediocre Hunter deck, but it's really aggressive and you're going to go 12 wins. But with that same deck, on an unluckier day, you're going to go like 2 wins because just being matched up against a warrior with a bunch of taunts or a priest with a bunch of heals, it's just an instant loss. And because of that, the spread of wins that you're going to get with Hunter is going to be kind of all over the map, and sometimes you're just not going to get those crucial face cards to make it work. Warlock, on the other hand, has such an insane number and common board clears available in its arsenal that it does actually pull through more consistently than any other class in this expansion by a long shot. Maybe Rogue is somewhat more consistent, but Warlock generally performs better than Rogue still. Now, as a Warlock, you're actually still going to feel countered when you're playing against some absolutely insane priest decks or mage decks, the kind of decks that just have absolutely insane card quality and card generation. So if you have a pretty good Warlock deck with a decent amount of early game and a decent amount of board clears, you're going to get really far, but you're still going to get stomped on by these perfect control decks. And, you know, that's a bit inevitable because it's very difficult to get through those, but still, the Warlock seems to pull through. The main series of Gadsden editions of things like Abyssal Enforcer, currently the #1 arena card in the game, even considering all legendaries across all classes, according to Hearthstone Arena at least, but that's a pretty legit source. You know, they do have stats that back up these numbers, and the value of the Abyssal Enforcer was increased recently to be what it is, so they're pretty damn sure it is in fact the craziest card you can possibly draft. In the common slot, with the occurrence bonus, right now is the time you want to be picking Warlocks. And yeah, it's quite an adventure. The only downside to picking Warlocks, the only real inconsistency that I see, is that the going first versus going second dilemma does seem to impact Warlock. I don't know if it impacts it the most, but it's a big impact. Like, if you take a look at my win rates with Warlock so far in the Mean Streets of Gadsden expansion, my win rate going first is 83, and my win rate going second is 73. So, you know, I basically have it, if going second compared to going first, I will lose 60% more of the time. That's ridiculous. And that has to do with the fact that once the Warlock stabilizes on the board, it generally wins the game. Because usually in a non-Warlock versus non-Warlock matchup, what will happen is the late game cards might make a big push for the player that's losing in the early stages of the game. But with Warlock, that's not really the case, because if you have a lot of HP, you can just tap your way to victory. You will just certainly have more value than just about every other deck in the game if you make it to the late game with a high amount of HP. And you can generally do that going first almost every single time, while going second, it can be a real struggle. So if they do fix the going first versus going second, I'm not exactly sure which way they're going to take on that. Warlock might just be a bit unstoppable, but I imagine that change will be paired with many others that will spice up the meta once again. For now, pick those locks. You're going to do really well, and have some fun while you can. So, hope you guys learned something from my, again, fairly run-of-the-mill arena run that did surprisingly well. And yeah, check out the lock.
Warlock it is. Made your night because I quoted you. Solid message, man. Solid message. Probably the Scarlet Crusader here. Oh, do I have the overlay running? Okay. Wow. Take that, Magma Rager. Velfare Potion. Probably the PO. Yeah. I like the life gain from that. Okay. 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 Yep. Yep. That's a good one. Also a good one. Oh, that's a very good one. Okay. Don't have many demons. I also have no discard. This is a fairly limited use. I'm actually going to go with a Kazan Mystic and get a considerable advantage when going against secret classes. Yeah. Another Abyssal, not bad. Probably the Dark Iron. Probably the Bartender. Yeah, but and gaining life is pretty good in this deck. Taunt's also good. I have no discards, so. What about one drops? I got like 1, 2, 3. It's not that many. I'm actually gonna go with a Possessed Villager here. Sure. That's a pretty standard schmandered deck here. Nothing too special, not too bad. There's this like boxing match variant. I don't know what it's called. It's where you get in sumo suits. I would be down for one of those. Problem is I don't want to travel, so it'd have to be a Canadian fight. Well, I think most of the Hearthstone personalities focus on Hearthstone. So, yeah. I think if you can get hurt doing something, someone will get hurt doing something like that. Fine. 1 and 3, I'll take it. Canadian fight. No, after you, I insist. Yeah, yeah. So the other big thing today, I couldn't read all of it because, like, oh my god, it's like... So, I read some, like, dumb criticism on the devs, and then the devs did some long-ass interviews with some website, and then people disagreed with stuff they said, and then they had long-ass detailed replies on Reddit, and then they didn't get enough visibility, so we got longer-ass detailed replies as posts on Reddit. Like, oh my god. Oh god. It's really getting a bit over the top in my opinion. There's really only one solution to it. Fix the game. Alright? There you go. I don't want to lose 3 times as much going second in Arena. Can we fix that, please? Alright, we don't have to explain ourselves. We just need a solution for that, and then it needs to happen. People don't want to play against small-time Buccaneer. So how about we give that card the Warsong Commander treatment? Alright. Ooh, this is pretty complicated. Yeah, get right on it. Yeah, I mean, right now the problems are pretty clearly defined. We just kind of want them fixed. That's about it, really. No big secret. Please fix. Thank you. Okay, so I got 8 on the board, and I can do +6. I can do 14. I just have to do 1 with Mad Bomber, or get that damage through. I think that's pretty fair. Devil's Advocate argument. What do you say to mostly free-to-play people that crafted patches, but they nerf small-time Buccaneer into the ground, making patches useless, i.e. no dust refund for Legendary? Well, how about we, like, fix two things at once, and, we just give people a bunch of free packs. It's like playing ranked and pretend patches doesn't exist. I mean, you can do that, but... I mean, you would have to intentionally ignore the largest part of the game. Right? So, I don't know. No, Arena has not always been that way. It's just gotten progressively worse. There's more and more powerful early game cards. You obviously know that from Constructed, but they're also there in Arena. So because there's more powerful early game cards, the Arena games last a shorter period. People have 1-drops all the time, and they generally release shitty spells. So what happens is there's fewer ways to actually come back on the board. I also really like win more cards. The biggest shift between first and second win rates happened in the Grand Tournament, where Inspire cards were introduced. And the reason that was such a big deal was because Inspire cards... Wow! What? I don't understand. Inspire cards can be played on curve or to gain value. So your late game could be played as early game. So like Murloc Knight, if you're winning, you can play it on turn 4 and it's ridiculous. And then you can play it on turn 6 and use its ability, and you can play that instead of a 6-drop. So there's a lot more flex cards. Discovery cards also added to the problem. Discovery was a really cool mechanic, but without a doubt it was problematic. Okay. So whenever they print really powerful early game cards, and whenever they print win more cards, and whenever they print flexible cards, it makes the problem of going first versus second in Arena a bigger problem. That is all the cards they print these days. So, shouldn't be much of a surprise. Wow. Good thing I can actually deal with that. That's a cool one.
Well played.
I do think Mage is still one of the bad Arena classes right now. But when you get a really, really good Mage deck, it's almost unstoppable. I play the mech because I might not gain anything right now. If only Blizzard had like 400 million to use towards testing. Yeah. If only. hell was that like? Okay.
I'm not ready.
Oh no. Fine. That's such an insane draw. Well, I do have really good curves still. Well, I told you guys, I think I don't know this. I think the way Blizzard works is they have a ton of people producing ideas. And then a few people select which ideas of those they like. Actually, I should have played this, I think. So I think there's just built-in inefficiency in that type of system. And it might not be that bad. Might be a fair system, honestly. Yeah, I don't want to get too wrecked by Flame Strike, so I'm gonna tap here. Fine. Okay, Flame Strike's still pretty bad, but looks manageable. Then where does it go? Well, like, the Hearthstone team has like 100 people, right? I'm pretty sure the average Blizzard employee gets paid quite a lot. It's a lot of money. Like, let's say the average person working for Hearthstone gets what I think is an extremely conservative average. Let's say 80,000 a year. Okay. Okay, 8 million is actually nothing. Alright, never mind. I am AFK. Okay, Horse Rider. Fine. Well, let's see what I get. I don't think I want to play more into Flame Strike, but it's actually a pretty weak board. Ugh. Oh, spare part time. Fine. I think 80,000 a year for a salary in a really anonymous salary reportings from Blizzard. Well, this includes like the game testers, which I think make a hell of a lot less, right?
This might sting.
Crap. Senior software engineer between 103 and 185,000. Yeah, that's pretty insane. Wow, another auctioneer. Yeah, so I mean, Blizzard pays their employees very, very, very well. What's that? Not if you're customer service. Mm-hmm.
Squire, attend me.
Ready, sir.
This is kind of an all-in play. Please, no top deck flame strike. Top deck flame strike. Okay, I'll just proceed to lose now.
Well met.
Please, no fireball.
Dance with me. Caffeine shelters us.
What doesn't brook you?
Yes!
You win this.
Oh, not what I expected. What kind of salary would convince me to work for Blizzard?
Why do you call?
I mean, I make pretty good money doing what I'm doing right now, and I like that, you know, the effort that we put into it gives us the results. It's very rewarding in that way. So I don't think I would work for Blizzard.
Don't forget to tip your Tauren.
Not yet, anyway.
For the crusade!
I mean, if streaming and YouTube and all that stuff didn't work out too well, and I wanted to like live in the US and work for a game developer, for a game, not necessarily a game developer, I guess.
The light protects me.
I would probably want to have some kind of control over what I do. Oh boy.
Join or die.
Bottoms up.
Such a high risk with the bomber. I think I'll just Dark Iron nothing. What I mean by that is, I'd like, if I worked for a company like Blizzard, I'd like to have some kind of creative space control, something like that. I don't know. I guess I kind of suck at explaining it. All right, I could get a spare part here. I got a freeze. Okay. That's a nice one. I applied when Jay Wilson got set on another project. I applied for the game director of Diablo 3. I legitimately thought I had a good chance of getting the job because it was right after Paragon levels came out, and that idea may have been inspired from someone. So I'm like, hey bros, I got some other good ideas, but they didn't get back to me, so. Yep. High school grad. I think being in control over the development of the game has a lot to do with having ample common sense, more so than any other trait. The funny thing is, yesterday when I was on my 11-win game, I also played against someone with a Doctor Boom.
Don't forget to tip your Tauren.
The reason I bring up the common sense argument is because I am not convinced that the management side of the development of Diablo 3 had very much of that. That's not bad.
Wanna blow something up?
Well, I guess that's fair. I did that to him earlier.
Wanna blow something up?
Wasn't Ben Brode a pizza man before Blizzard? I think so, yeah. Wow, that was fucking crazy. Dude, if Ben Brode went back to pizza delivery, think of the gigantic tips he would get. He might even make more than working for Blizzard.
Reporting for duty.
Imagine Ben Brode just delivered your pizza. Like, you are delivering one massive tip. This is such a bullshit.
You pay, I protect.
Re-divine shielding everything. Okay. Well, good thing we got that. Alright. Actually, if I could tap into Mortal Coil, I'd use that beforehand.
Back of the line.
Ouch.
Reporting for duty.
Don't worry, loves. The cavalry's here. Giddy up!
Yeah, playing around 2 damage I think is reasonable, but I do have to end this game soon if I want to actually win.
Accidents. They happen, you know?
Oh, 3 minions, that's good. No taunt, I win.
Just me and Mr. Fight.
Mount up!
Winner, winner.
Giddy up!
What about healing? Well, in a desperate all-in race to the finish line situation, you cannot play around that many things. Oh man, 12 wins so frequently lately. Good stuff. Let's pick up some extra packs here. Let's go with 5 extra. Yeah, Brode's a real character. I think Blizzard using Brode to introduce like events and expansions is the single best decision they ever made with Hearthstone. I'm not saying the other guys do a bad job, but like Ben Brode sells the fuck out of expansions, dude. It's unbelievable. There was one expansion that he couldn't like participate in, and I didn't feel the hype, man. I was like, damn, dude, this is not the same without the Brode, so